On a more serious note, I really want to talk about graduation requirements. This is something that I've been thinking about for a while, and those of you who read my Ed Week post today know that it's something that I personally believe needs to change. And I've spoken to my students about it, and I've spoken to a bunch of people about it. All right, so when we were in high school, we being the folks who were born in the 70s, and so maybe like 30 years ago or whatnot, 20 years ago I graduated from high school. My parents, way before that as well. The graduation requirements in New York really haven't changed that much. Maybe the amount of Regent exams you need to take, which is our end of year state exams, like maybe they have changed a little bit, but there's been very little fluctuation in the kind of content students need to be able to be competent in order to graduate high school. And in that case as well, the requirements to get into college haven't really changed much either. And what I posit at this point, and thinking really with the Ed Week article, and what I want to hear from other people as well, is, are we really addressing the needs of the 21st century learner in the school systems that we are parties to right now? When I think about the lack of variety, when I think about the lack of choice, when I think about even like the core classes and the skills of what's going on and how they're being taught and what's actually being taught in these classes, I feel like in this time period, there needs to be more really intentional crossover, more interdisciplinary, more skills-based, more innovative sort of moving forwards. I don't think we're meeting those at all either, Erica. Honestly, like the bottom line is like these kids are still having a hard time articulating connections between these very separate subjects that they're learning, which is unfortunate. And if reflection was a hallmark of everything that we did, which is starting to happen more in pockets everywhere, I feel like if that were the case, perhaps maybe some of that articulation would become more relevant moving forward. But having to do, so many math classes and so many English classes, and so many of all of these other things, it's a really scary thing to think that, we're graduating kids who are completely unprepared for the realities of what's coming next in their life. And unfortunately, the reality as well of higher education, post-secondary, they aren't really changing anything either. And you have these companies like Google and Apple who it is very little vision. And there could be some very good leadership, but the systems themselves are so restrictive that even when they say you can do different things, the system flags those different things right away. At least that's the way it is in New York. And I agree, Eric. The Ford conveyor belt model, the industrial model that we're living in right now, although it may have been practical a long time ago, it's not practical anymore. It's not doing what we need them to do. So like when we think about these companies, like I was saying before, these innovative tech companies that don't necessarily require anymore those graduation college degrees, because so many people are innovative in that they could think outside the box and they understand these technologies and they're learning earlier and earlier in this blended environment. And we have leaders, we need to push. Thank you, Randy. That's very kind. I think I'm very threatening to a lot of leaders, unfortunately. It seems to be my experience that people like me who question a lot of things don't really love having, I don't really speak up in my school community as much as I may want to. And really that's why my PLN, my social media outlets are really a place for me to think about the things that I'm thinking about. I talk about them with my students all the time they do. And unfortunately, we need to be valuing every single kid, because it's the innovation that comes from the individual right now, and the individual coupled with the collaborative, where we could have these spaces like a Google does, where there are no set schedules in the day. People could wander, they could allow creativity to happen. There's very little room for creativity in this system, in programming it, in what content is taught, And then even in how we run our classrooms, because in 40 minutes in a high school setting, 42 minutes, there's really not much you can do, especially as each kid is moving from class to class to class to class. If you're unfortunate enough to have students 7th or 8th period after they've spent whatever mental capacity they have, and they're cranky and they're tired and they're hungry by the end of the day, you're not getting the best of them. They're not getting the best of you. I mean, I wish my schedule was bottom heavy, because I'm a morning person. They would get the best of me if I taught periods 1 to 4, because that's where I'm the best me. By 8th period, I am not the best me. I'm cranky, I'm impatient, I know these things about myself, and I pity that. That's great. We really do need to understand the student experience and adjust what we can. I wish that we could go back to hour-long periods. I wish that the periods could be flexible. My English classes need to be longer than they are, especially my production classes. I wish they were fluid without bells, and it would be really, really, really different. So I'm just like a call out there to everybody who read the Ed Week article today. I want to hear what you think about graduation requirements in your state. What do you think can be changed inside of a system right now? And what does the system really need to look at? And how can we backward plan from the skills kids need to have after college to make good determinations about what we should be teaching in high school to really truly make them career ready? Not just college ready, because not every kid should be going to college, in my opinion. I don't know what happened to vocational school, because those were fantastic. We need vocational skills. We need vocational programs in our schools. Anyway, I hope everyone has a great day. If you have something to say, tweet me at Ms. Saxton. Talk to me about your ideas about graduation requirements. Thanks so much for watching.